welcome an Oscar nominee and an Emmy-winning actress for offering her celebrity status to highlight the voice of Hila Sedighi. With much gratitude, a warm welcome to Shohreh Aghdashloo.
Good evening. My name is Hila Sedighi. I was born in Tehran, Iran in 1985. In those days, Iran had just experienced a revolution, was mired in a conflict with the Iran-Iraq war, and oh, let's not forget that little Iran-Contra incident. As a result of the nation's instability, my family temporarily moved to Istanbul for 5 years. Back in Iran, I was a good student. At 14, I was chosen as one of 2 students in the entire country to become members of the Supreme Council of the Ministry of Education, appointed to the Central Foundation Committee of Hamseda Youth Club. I also became editor-in-chief of the popular publication Shohreh Badshah, City of Children. I spent my free time contributing to the restoration of Ali Shariati's house so that it could be converted to a museum for all Iranians to learn about this ideologue of the Iranian Revolution. In 2002, I established the Neistan Cultural Literary Association, making me the youngest secretary of a national literary association. Our monthly meetings attracted poets, professors, and we often hosted performances of Iran's most daring young musicians. And then it was time to go to university. And so I decided to get my bachelor's degree in law. Some of my most impactful work began in 2006. I joined the Baran Foundation, an organization that supported reform-minded candidates across local, parliamentary, as well as national presidential elections. It was then that my activism became political, and I realized the power that words had to move people to action. Wanted to change things for the better and to ensure that our cultural legacy would not fall victim to the whims of overzealous religious authorities. I established the Kimiyadaran Javan Club. Eventually, this led to an appointment in the municipality of Tehran, where I resided. I became responsible for all legal matters pertaining to the municipality's culture and society department. 2 years later, as the 2009 elections drew near, I realized that I had to resign. I had to resign not just in protest of what I saw my country becoming, but because I had to take the chance to devote myself to a cause that was just, progressive, and would restore hope to the fading youth of my country. I took a job with the presidential campaign of Mir Hossein Mousavi, a reformist candidate whose popularity was a threat to the status quo. The government knew the grassroots movement was a threat. In 2009, the Green Revolution was born. Our protests were met with violence. So I did the only thing I knew I could do. I raised my voice. My poem, Ottoman's Reign, story of my missing classmate, told the tale of our desires and dreams deferred, and the anguish we feel at the loss of our compatriots, at the loss of intelligent youth. It was a wake-up call to our government that those who were being silenced would not be forgotten, and so they tried to silence me. On a cold night in December of 2010, Intelligence Ministry agents ransacked my home and confiscated many of my personal belongings. I was summoned and interrogated numerous times by the Intelligence Ministry. I don't think I need to elaborate much on what an interrogation in Iran entails, but it's tantamount to psychological torture. After enduring this madness, I was finally sentenced a year later by the Revolutionary Court to 4 months in prison. Thankfully, the sentence was suspended for 5 years. In 2012, Human Rights Watch awarded me the Helman Hammett Prize for the free expression. That was also the year I reconnected with an old friend and got married. We now split our time between Dubai and Iran. And it was on one of those trips back from Dubai that I was arrested again. Before leaving the country, I performed a piece entitled Iranian Women. It was a scathing critique of the government's insistence that women wear hijab, while the very foundation of the regime are crumbling. This is what I said. The wind blow away your house, and you still worry about the wind blowing my hair. The myth of which cave's sleepers has you intoxicated so? Why are you sleeping? 100 tribes go to ruins while you sleep. The scandal about the kingdom thieves is everywhere. But with your 2 hands, you still hold on to the 2 ends of my shawl. When my husband and I returned to Tehran from Dubai in 2016, I was immediately detained in the airport. They transferred me to the city's jail, in a cage, watched like a criminal, for a case which was tried in my absence. To this day, I don't know what my charges are. For now, I am out on bail and I have filed a complaint. Other poets are not so lucky. Others remain locked in prison, under torturous punishment, separated from humanity. In my country, you can be arrested, charged in absentia, tried with no representation, jailed without due process, and have your freedoms erased because justice is blind. She is covered in a chador and hijab. No wonder she can't do her job. In my country, young artists who are national treasures are rotting away behind prison's bars simply for daring to express themselves. But in the land of Persia, one thing that never dies is poetry. The written word is a legacy that endures that test of time. The graves of Hafiz and Sadi are monuments that to this day they're covered with flowers by those who honor their memories. These mourners are living proof that you cannot kill an idea. My legacy is the history of my people, the Persian people, who for hundreds of years mastered and progressed in the fields of science, math, medicine, and technology. Methods that are still used today can trace the roots to ancient Persian scientists, philosophers, and poets. This is why, although it would be easy for me to leave my country, the blood in my veins roots me to the dust walked upon my ancestors. I am the guardian of my cultural legacy, and no one Not even an authoritarian government will scare me away. I am an Iranian woman, a child of this nation, patient and strong. Iran is my homeland. Iran is where I belong, and it is where I will remain, no matter what the future may hold. Take a strength from my story. Stay vigilant. Echo these words out into the world. For as long as there are good people of conscience in existence, there is hope for a brighter future. The extremism I am fighting in my country is the same fascism that you're fighting in yours. Do not let your voices be silenced by danger. Do not let your art die in the face of fear. Create, speak, and fight. And this is my story. My name is Hila Sedighi.
Please give it up one more time for the beautiful and talented Shohreh Aghdashloo.